All right, this is a Maria discussion for everybody on Facebook. I'm doing it through YouTube. I'm not putting this on the blog. We'll see how it goes. If you like it, please tell me if you like it. If not, if you think it's boring, tell me that it's boring and I won't do it anymore. But I know a lot of friends and family who have interest in Puerto Rico, so I thought I would do a video on what is really like a potentially deadly storm here for the Caribbean again. Now, let me give you the current position. This is as of 11 o'clock tonight, Monday night, and the position is latitude 15.3 north, 61.1 west, and it's a Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale, and it just went over the island of Dominica. So that means that that island is likely to be devastated, much like the island of Barbuda was with Hurricane Irma. So it's a very sad situation. If we look at the satellite presentation off of NOAA, this is an extremely impressive storm. At its core, it has winds of a jaw-dropping 160 miles an hour, and the eye is going right over the island of Dominica. So, what's the situation with respect to Puerto Rico? Well, I think that there are some. This is going to be a severe storm for Puerto Rico. I think most of the island will see hurricane conditions for a time, but if there's any silver lining to this dark cloud, it's the fact that the hurricane force winds right now, as of now, and this can change, but the hurricane force winds are only confined to an area that's about 5 miles around the actual eye. So, for example, what we saw with Hurricane Irma was that when she approached Florida specifically, the wind field in the hurricane expanded out. So the outer core of the hurricane had hurricane force winds extending out, 50 to 75 miles. And that's why you saw a landfall near Key West and then up to Naples. But guess what? The hurricane force winds were felt in Miami, even though they were felt in gusts. It's still over 100 mile an hour wind gusts were felt in Miami. Now, a situation like Maria at this point is that, basically at the core of the hurricane is where the strongest winds are. That can change. I'm not going to get into reasons why it can change, but you can look up eye wall replacement cycle, and that'll give you a little bit of background on why that may change. We're going to just have to keep monitoring this. So we'll take a look at the last run of the GFS model, and this is what I want to emphasize the most. The hurricane is obviously going to have devastating impacts on the U.S. Virgin Islands, which are just to the east of Puerto Rico, much like Irma did. Okay, so this is by Wednesday morning. Tropical storm force winds are already getting ready to come on into San Juan. And now as we go through the day, what may happen is, at least based on the latest forecast track that I've seen, is that the hurricane goes very near the worst impact goes very near San Juan and the northeast portion of the island. Now, just because San Juan is getting hit directly, if this model is correct, it doesn't mean that hurricane conditions aren't hitting other portions of the island of Puerto Rico. In fact, most of the island should see hurricane conditions at some point between Wednesday morning and Thursday morning, and the island is also going to receive life-threatening heavy rain in the form of flash floods, and that is something that is a major concern, not only for Wednesday and Thursday, but well beyond that point. So the hurricane will still be mature as it leaves the northeastern Caribbean, and it'll be around for another week or so before we find out what exactly happens to the overall fate of Maria. But that's the situation right now as I see it, and I'll have more to say tomorrow.